everyone, my name is Jenna, but you guys can call me Jen. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Hi, hello. Welcome to a 2025 releases video. This is always one of my favorite videos to film by the end of the year, and I'm just so excited. Because not only are we going to talk about releases that are coming out in 2025 that I'm very excited for, we're also going to be doing a pre-order list, if not actually also pre-ordering those books. We will decide. But I also want to go over some of the books that I'm going to be ordering, if not like requesting from my library, if they don't already have them in their catalog, because that is also very important to do. Use your local library because hot girls have library cards. It also saves us money. So let's get into this. Okay, we're gonna start with just going over what we have here. I have gone through a bunch of different lists and have been saving over the past couple months through my Goodreads, like a board of like 2025 releases that I'm excited about. And today we have about 41 to go through, but I'm not going to go into detail about every single one. You'll be able to see them on the screen. I'm just going to talk about the ones that I'm very excited about. So first up, we have a bunch here that apparently don't have a date attached. If this one is not announced in 2025, I don't know what I'm going to do, because this is the most anticipated of anticipated books for me. No matter where we are, I need Electo the Ninth. I need it! Anyways, it's on this list because it wasn't released in 2024, so. And we also have Emberclaw by L.R. Lamb, which I actually think it does have a date. Yeah, expected publication March 4th, so I don't know why that's showing up on that list as like not actually a publication day, but this one's in March 4th expected. This is the sequel to Dragonfall by the same author. I read it and I enjoyed it. I'll probably check this one out through the library when it comes out. I'm not overly excited about it, but it's exciting that it's coming out. And we also have A Song of Legends Lost by M.H. Ayinde, which again is expected 2025 by Orbit UK, which is in the UK. I'm not sure when it's coming. Is it coming out via Saga Press here? Okay, it's coming out via Saga Press in the US and in Canada, I believe. And it's expected in June for that. So I'm kind of sad though. I quite like the UK cover more than doesn't matter, it's the same art. Then we also have another book by Danica Nava, which is expected July 22nd, which is exciting because Danica Nava wrote the very first traditionally published Indigenous authored romance, which we love. And it's about a pop singer who escapes to her estranged grandmother Lottie's ranch in Oklahoma. Living on the res is new to Avery. Not only does she have to work in the blazing summer heat to earn her keep, but the man who runs Lottie's horse ranch despises her and wants her gone. Ooh. And then we also have To You at the Altar by Rebecca Thorne, which is the third book in the Tones and Tea series, which is coming out in March. So I don't know why it's not loading properly in this Goodreads thing. And then we have A Serpent Called Mercy, or The Serpent Called Mercy, which I thought was a 2024 release, but I guess it got pushed to 2025. This one's also coming out in March of 2025. Anyways, all right, let's get into these releases as of January 2025. January, my friends, is stacked, okay? We've got the fourth book in the Halfling Saga by Melissa Blair coming out, which is the fourth and final book, January 7th, right away in January. We have Breath of the Dragon by Shannon Lee, who is the daughter of Bruce Lee, and also Fonda Lee. They are collaborating for this. I believe it's a young adult kind of like martial arts type fantasy based in the learnings of Bruce Lee, I think. Based on characters and teachings created by Bruce Lee. Yeah, so this is a new fantasy YA duology, which is very exciting. This cover is just gorgeous. Very exciting because it's another Fonda Lee book coming out. And the fact that she's like collaborating with Shannon Lee, who's related to Bruce Lee, is really cool. So that's on this list. We also have Death of the Author by Neri Okorafor. Now, I saved this simply because of the name. Death of the Author is very prevalent nowadays. I just thought this was so interesting, and Neri Okorafor does some very fascinating sci-fi. I haven't read many of their books, but I've read a couple in my lifetime and have been surprised and shocked at what they do every time. So this one sounds very interesting. Also, this cover is, again, very cool, very eye-catching. And like the tagline is literally just "the future of storytelling is here." So this is, life has thrown Zelu some curveballs over the years, but when she suddenly dropped from her university job and her latest novel is rejected, all in the middle of her sister's wedding, oh my god, her life is upended. Disabled, unemployed, and from a nosy, high-achieving, judgmental family, she's not sure what comes next. Whoa, this is gonna be a lot. In her hotel room that night, she takes the risk that will define her life. She decides to write a book very unlike her others. Let's go. A science fiction drama about androids and AI after the extinction of humanity, and everything changes. What follows is a tale of love and loss, fame and infamy, and extraordinary events in one world and another. And as Zelu's life evolves, the lines between fiction and reality begin to blur, because sometimes a story really does have the power to reshape a world. Oh my god, I'm so excited. I didn't even read that description before doing this. I just was like, Death of the Author? What a great title. So, love that. Going to be reading that. That sounds amazing. Next up, we have The Baby Dragon Cafe, guys, by Amina Qureshi, I think is how you say her name. I am so excited of this because this is another cozy fantasy. Look at this. Look at this. Baby dragon cover. I'm so excited. Okay, so when Saphira opened up her cafe for baby dragons and their humans, she wasn't expecting it to be so difficult to keep the fires burning. It turns out young dragons are not the best magical animals to keep in a cafe, and replacing all that burnt furniture is costing Saphira more than she can afford from selling dragon roasted coffee. Aiden is a local gardener. I love it. And local heartthrob, more interested in his plants than actually spending time with his disobedient baby dragon. When Aiden walks into Saphira's cafe, he has a genius idea. He'll ask Saphira to train his baby dragon, and he'll pay her enough to keep the cafe afloat. Whoa. That's a lot of money, my man. Saphira's happy-go-lucky attitude doesn't seem to do anything but irritate the grumpy but gorgeous Aiden, except that everywhere she goes, she finds him there. But can this Dragon Cafe owner turn her fortunes around and maybe find love along the way? I need it. I need it desperately. Then we have a new release from Kritika Rao, who is an author who completely surprised me this year. And I'm very excited about this because I think this is a romantic fantasy which is mixed with Hindu mythology, which we love. So this is a reimagining of the famous tale of a celestial dancer tasked with seducing a human sage. When she finds herself falling in love with her mark, she will be forced to choose between loyalty to her home and being true to herself. Love this. I really, really loved Kritika Rao's The Surviving Sky, which I read earlier this year, and I have The Unrelenting Earth, which is the second in that trilogy, on my TBR for like really soon. So I'm really excited to read this. I'm just very interested to see what else she can do, what else Kritika Rao can do, because The Surviving Sky was absolutely fascinating, and I need to know what else she's got up her sleeve. So this like romantic fantasy sounds fantastic. In the realm of, what does it say? Kaikei, which I didn't like, Circe, which I really loved, and The Daughters of the Moon Goddess, which I hate read, but should be fine. Next, we have The Teeth of Dawn by Marina Lofstetter. This is the third and final book in this trilogy. This trilogy, I think, yeah, for a second there, I'm like, is it a trilogy? Am I wrong? No, yeah, concludes the riveting and mind-ripping epic fantasy trilogy. I've read book 1 so far, and I have book 2 on my shelves, and I have an arc for book 3. So I really need to get around to it, but this is like fantasy horror at its finest. I really, really enjoyed book 1. It is just phenomenal. Deals with a really interesting fantasy magic system with masks and crystals and gemstones. And it has a serial killer at the heart of it. It's just fascinating. And we have, of course, Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young. I should have prefaced this at the beginning. This is not just fantasy releases. This is fantasy, sci-fi, romance, all in between. It's just whatever I'm interested in. But this is Out of the Woods by Hannah Bonham Young, who is an incredible author. I'm so excited for this. This is about high school sweethearts, Sarah and Caleb. Have always been a sure thing. For the past 17 years, they've had each other's backs, but Sarah has begun to wonder, who is she without her other half? Ooh. So it's like a second chance? Okay, I don't like second chance romance vibe, but I trust Hannah Bonham Young with tropes that I don't like because I've read her Out on a Limb, and that has the pregnancy trope that I don't like either. So you know what? I trust her. We're gonna go into, I'm very excited about it anyways. Then we we have one called The Outcast Mage by Annabelle Campbell. Sorry, this is a new release from Orbit. It's a debut. I don't know what it's about. I have this as an ARC as well, which I need to read. A mage bereft of her powers must find out if she is destined to save the world or destroy it. In this glittering debut fantasy, perfect for fans of Andrew Stewart, James Islington, and Samantha Shannon. I think that's what got me. It was the James Islington and Samantha Shannon comparison because I love those two so deeply. Anyways, very excited to read that. Well, that brings us to the end of January. So January, as I said, popping the fuck off. I have, oh, and I have another one that didn't get added to this list right away. Let me find it. Let me find it. Okay. I think I added it to this, just didn't update. This is Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yambao. This, first of all, I am so obsessed with this cover. It's just so stunning. So this is like a fantasy romance, magical realism type of vibe. I read a little synopsis of it on a website and that to me gave really cozy. So I don't know if it's actually cozy or not. This is about a woman who inherits a pawn shop where you can sell your regrets and then embarks on a magical journey when a charming young physicist wanders into the shop in this dreamlike and enchanting fantasy novel. That's all I need to know about this one because the cover is gorgeous. That sounds incredible. If this isn't a banger, I will cry. But this is another one that's on my list. I completely forgot about that. But yeah, that's all of January. I have my little like pre-orders list here that are not all going to be pre-orders. They're just books that I'm interested in that I'm like very interested in. Obviously every single one on this list I'm kind of interested in some kind of way, but these are the ones that I'm like, yes, I definitely want to seek them out, you know? January, I have Death of the Author, Baby Dragon Cafe, Legends of Manica, Out of the Woods, and Water Moon. I have 5 books on this list that I will either be pre-ordering or getting from my library. So I'm very excited about that. But we will talk about that aspect of this at the end of this video. Anyways, into February, we have 2 for February. We have Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales, which is book 3 in the Emily Wilde's series. I'm so excited to get this 3rd book. I liked book 1 enough, fucking loved book 2, and I cannot wait to get into book 3. It's just gonna be so good. And then of course is one that I've actually read already. I read an ARC. I Got Abducted by Aliens and Now I'm Trapped in a Rom-Com by Kimberly Lemming. This is her new sci-fi fantasy romance vibe. It's like her Mead Mishap series, but it's more sci-fi and fucking bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. So if you're into that, go check it out. Now we're gonna talk about March. We've got, of course, Oathbound, which is book 3 in the Legendborn cycle. This is very exciting because not only is this the penultimate book before book 4 comes out, whenever that comes out, but I think this is such a fascinating YA fantasy series because as someone who doesn't love YA fantasy a lot anymore, I think the Legendborn books are really doing it. They're really doing it well and beautifully, and they're telling such a cool story. We also have a book by Amal El Motar, who is one of the authors of This Is How You Lose the Time War. Is that what it is? Yeah, This Is How You Lose the Time War, which is a co-authored book with Max Gladstone. This is Amal El Motar's own book. I didn't really look at anything other than the cover and the fact that it's Amal El Motar, but it sounds interesting. Follow the river Liss to the small town of Thistleford on the edge of Fairy and meet 2 sisters who cannot be separated even in death. That sounds interesting. Anyways, so that's coming out March 4th. And then we have A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. I believe I had this on my last year's list, on 2024's list, because it was supposed to come out in September of this year, and then December got pushed, and then it got pushed again due to Sango's personal life. So I'm excited for it when it comes out in March because The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches is one of my favorite books of all time, and it's just stunning. And this is in the same world, and it's about innkeeping. I'm so excited about this, guys. It's gonna be absolutely beautiful. And then, of course, one of the most popular books that's coming out in March, Sunrise on the Reaping, which is another prequel to The Hunger Games. And this one's following Haymitch, which is very interesting. It's an interesting choice because we know those games are fucking brutal. So I'm interested to read this. I hate the cover so fucking much. I hate it so much. It's so dumb looking, but it matches the other covers, so whatever. But I'm excited about that one in a very low-key way. In a very low-key way. Then we also have a new book from our father, I guess, John Green, a guy who, got a lot of us into reading as teens. Not me, I was always into reading, but I'm just saying, with The Fault in Our Stars and all those. He's coming out with another book called Everything is Tuberculosis, The History and Persistence of Our Deadliest Infection. I'm very interested by this because he is absolutely obsessed with tuberculosis. And I'm interested to see what he does, because I know his other nonfiction book that came out recently, his like most recent book that came out, people absolutely fell in love with the way he wrote it. So I have yet to read that one, but I'm actually very interested in this one because I want to know what he's talking about when everything is tuberculosis, you know? The next one is The Dawn Throne by Tara Sim, which is book 3 of the Dark Gods series. The first one is The City of Dusk, which I read, I think, a number of years ago. I have yet to read book 2, but book 3 is coming out next year in March. And then we have April. We're just gonna dive right in. The first one here is A Drop of Corruption, which is coming out April 1st, which is book 2 to Robert Jackson Bennett's newest series, The Shadow of Leviathan. The very first one is The Tainted Cup. There it is. I found it. This one is A Drop of Corruption. The Tainted Cup is the first one. I have yet to read it, but this is like a Sherlock Holmesian type of mystery, if you will. And then we have Holy Terrors by Margaret Owen, which is coming out the same day. This is Little Thieves number 3. I have yet to read Little Thieves number 2, but I loved Little Thieves. It was absolutely phenomenal. Then we have a new one from Ni Vo. This one is Don't Sleep with the Dead, which is a standalone companion novella to her The Chosen and the Beautiful, which is a reimagination of The Great Gatsby. So both of them are like standalone companions. You can read them out of order, of course. But this follows Nick Carraway, who is a paper soldier and novelist who has found a life watching the mad magical spectacle of New York high society in the late 30s. He's good at watching, and he's even better at pretending to be straight, pretending to be human, pretending he's forgotten the events of that summer in 1922. So another Niveau coming out. Interesting. We then have the sequel to India Holton's The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. There we go. It's a very long title. This is the Geographer's Map to Romance. Love that. I love her books. I've read one of them and part of The Ornithologist's Guide, and they're just so fun, and I don't know. I would put them in the same kind of vibe as a Kimberly Lemming, but less spicy than a Kimberly Lemming. They're just fun, irreverent, sarcastic as heck. The humor is fantastic. They're great. Then we also have The Ashfire King. Fucking finally. This has been on at least 2 of my lists near the end of the year, thinking that it was going to come out the next year. This is the sequel to the Stardust Thief, which came out a number of years ago. This is the longest wait time of life. I don't know why it kept getting pushed, but I'm very excited. Like, we got this reveal, the cover reveal, like right after the Stardust Thief came out. So I don't know why it kept getting pushed, but anyways, it's finally coming out. I'm very excited about that. I'm gonna definitely have to reread book 1, because do I remember anything? No, but it's okay. I remember really liking it, so that's good. Then we have Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, another Emily Henry coming out, one that is branching away from her 2-word title, which is interesting. And of course we have The Strength of the Few by James Islington, which is the sequel to The Will of the Many. This one is coming out in May, so we're diving into May now. I'm so excited for The Strength of the Few, guys. I am definitely going to have to reread The Will of the Many right before that one comes out, because I'm gonna need that shock factor to roll in to The Strength of the Few. It's gonna be delicious. Then we have Angie Kills a King by Evan Leacombe, who you guys might know because he's a very big book reviewer on Book Talk and Bookstagram. He got a book deal with Orbit, which I'm so jealous about. But this is an absolutely stunning cover. I love this. I love this. Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool. So it's about an unlikely assassin who struggles to keep a legendary bounty hunter in this breakneck fantasy debut that will grab you by the throat. Perfect for fans of Joe Abercrombie, R.F. Kuang, and Christopher Buehlman. Love that. I don't know. It sounds very cool. It sounds very cool. And we also have another cozy fantasy coming out in the end of May by the same author who wrote Dreadful, Caitlin Rozakis. I saw this title and I was like, is that a middle grade? And then I looked at it and I'm like, Parent Teachers Association. Maybe it's cozy fantasy. And I read it, and it's another cozy fantasy, which we love. Which we love. 2 parents and their recently bitten werewolf daughter try to fit into a privileged New England society of magical aristocracy, but deadly terrors await them. Ancient prophecies, remorseless magical trials, hidden conspiracies, and the PTA bake sale. Oh my god, it's her kindergartner. Arya gets bitten by a werewolf. I'm so fucking ready for that. That's gonna be great. That's gonna be a rip-roaring great time. All right, after that, we're going into June. And the only book I have for June is Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by Victoria Schwab, V. Schwab. And this is another standalone that I'm kind of into. I keep telling myself that I'm done with V. Schwab's books because none of them really like hit for me other than like Addie LaRue did. But like 3 young women So we have Santo Domingo de la Calzada, in 1532, London in 1837, and Boston in 2019. 3 women, their bodies planted in the same soil, their stories tangling like roots. One grows high, one grows deep, and one grows wild, and all of them grow teeth. Like, that's all we're given? I need to know. Anyways, the next one here for July is Tusk Love from Critical Role's authors. I am so excited. This is written by Thea Guanson. Okay, you guys, if you guys don't know, I love Critical Role so deeply. The Mighty Nine, their campaign 2 was my beloveds. And one of the books that's mentioned in that campaign as a joke is called Tusk Love. And it is referenced all the time in that campaign. I'm so fucking excited that they're getting it done. That they're getting it written. I will be fucking reading that. Of course I will be. That sounds incredible, but it's romance. A merchant's daughter who yearns for adventure gets more than she bargained for when she falls for a broodingly handsome stranger in this saucy romantasy. Like, look at this, look how beautiful. Anyways, I'm excited for that. That's the first one in July. Then we have Red Tempest Brother, which is probably my most anticipated book of 2025 because it is the final book in the Darkwater Daughter, the Winter Sea trilogy by Hannah Long, who is one of my favorite authors ever. I'm so excited for this, you guys. Book 3. I'm so fucking amped. You guys need to go read those. You gotta. I'm not even opening that one because spoilers, but like, you have to go read it. Then we have The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. This is set in the same world as her cozy fantasy, The Spell Shop, which is fantastic. I fucking love The Spell Shop. I also really love Sarah Beth Durst as an author. She's just absolutely phenomenal and so underrated. I'm so glad that she's getting a little bit of steam with these cozy fantasies because her backlist is stacked with incredible books. But this one I'm so excited for. It looks like it's set in the winter. But yeah, it's another cozy fantasy standalone novel that is nestled on a faraway island brimming with singing flowers, honey cakes, and honeyed love. Guys, I'm so excited. And it follows somebody that we know from book 1, that we know of in book 1, which I'm amped for. Haha, it's gonna be so good. Then we have another one called Medievally Blonde by Kate Jacobs. I just wanted to add that one here because I know Kate Jacobs is like a book talker, a bookstagrammer of some kind. She's got a book coming out called Medievally Blonde, which is a playoff of Legally Blonde, but medieval. So there's that. Then we have another sequel here, which is the Jasad Crown, which is the sequel to the Jasad Heir by Sarah Hashem, which is coming out July 15th. And I really enjoyed the Jasad Heir. Do I remember anything about it? No. So I'll probably have to reread that one before I go into this one, but I'm excited about it. And this purple cover, it is honestly one of the, okay, so it's just a duology. So it is the conclusion as well, but it is the Jasad Heir. Look at this cover. How cool. Purple. The Jasad Heir is one of the only like pitched as enemies to lovers books that actually hits that enemies to lovers itch, because there is no hint of a attraction until like more than 60% of the way through the book. And it's done so well. It's done so well. Then we have Catabasis by R.F. Kuang, her newest book coming out in August. This is the only book I have for August, I think, but it is about 2 academic rivals from Cambridge who must travel to hell to rescue the soul of their advisor. That's all I need to know. That's all I gotta know. That sounds amazing. I'm so excited. I love R.F. Kuang's writing. I really love Babel, one of her more recent books. And I'm really excited that she's getting back into like another fantasy book after writing Yellowface. So love that. Then we have the sequel to Cemetery Boys. We have Espiritu, which follows the love interest, I believe. I can't remember his name. Julian? Yadriel. No, yep, Julian. Julian. This follows Julian, who used to be a ghost, and now he can't stop seeing them. So it's a follow-up to Cemetery Boys, which you need to go read. It's a wonderful little YA book. And then the last 2 I have, that was also September, I should have said that. But the last few I have here, we have another September release with A Steeping of Blood, which is book 2 in the Blood and Tea. I think it's a duology. The first one is A Tempest of Tea. I enjoyed A Tempest of Tea when I read it, but it's not a book that actually sticks with me at all. It kind of just slipped right out of my brain, but it's an enjoyable read, and it's about vampires, and it's got very like Peaky Blinders vibes and heist vibes. So this sequel is coming out. I'm not sure if I will read it, but it is coming out in September. And then finally, we have another Fonda Lee book coming out in October, which is The Last Contract of Isako, which is a sci-fi fantasy. So Fonda Lee recently, since she published her whole Greenbone Saga books, that whole series with Jade City, Jade War, and then Jade Legacy, I only have 2 of the books on my shelves right there. She also published a couple like shorter works, novellas, and that kind of a thing. She's finally getting back to actual novels this year with the one that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. And now this one. This one is inspired by samurai movies and Fonda's former business career, which is, I love that. I love that little mention. The Last Contract of Isako is a searing space opera like no other that takes aim squarely at late stage capitalism. I love it, and it's sci-fi, so I'm interested. I'm very interested in that one. So those are all the books that I have on my giant list here. But let me know down below if you have any more that you're very excited about next year that are coming out, because of course, I'm always open for more. But okay, let's take a look at the ones that I'm very excited about. So as I mentioned in January, I am very excited about, like super, that I'm going to be seeking out. Death of the Author by Nia de Okorafor, Baby Dragon Cafe. I'm so excited about that one. Legend of Mineka. We have Out of the Woods and Water Moon. Those are the ones that I have on my January list. Then February, I only have one. I have Emily Wilde's number 3. March, I have Oathbound, of course, Witch's Guide to Innkeeping, of course, and Sunrise on the Reaping, because I kind of have to. April, we have The Geographer's Map by India Holton, Ashfire King, and A Song of Legends Lost with a question mark, because it's coming out, I think, in June, not April, when I wrote this down. In May, we have Strength of the Few. We also have Angie Kills a King. June, Bury Our Bones in Midnight Soil. July, Red Tempest Brother, Enchanted Greenhouse, and The Jasad Crown. August is Catabasis. September, I have nothing. And then October, we have The Last Contract of Isako. So let's see here. Let me open up. I want to do some pre-orders, but I don't know if my indie bookstore has all these books that I want to actually pre-order. So for sure, we are going to be pre-ordering the Baby Dragon Cafe. That's not how you spell cafe. Oh, look at that. It's there. Okay, perfect. Pre-order, add to cart. I also need to make sure that my last order from McNally, I know I ordered something from McNally and I don't. I also ordered Sword Heart by T. Kingfisher, which is the brand new version of Sword Heart, which comes out, this one, by Bramble. It's coming out in February. Okay, so that one's already pre-ordered. So there's another pre-order for February. I ordered that one when I ordered another book. Anyways, okay, so number 1, I'm gonna put it there. Baby Dragon Cafe. We're also going to pre-order Water Moon. So I really want this cover, and I think that's like the best. Also, this is how you're gonna be able to see all of the atrocious prices. This is a hardcover. The atrocious prices of book buying in Canada. Anyway, so those are definite yeses. I want all of these, but I can't let myself pre-order 5 books for January. That's too many books in January. Oh, it's a deluxe limited version. Well, shit. Kind of have to now. Especially when each of the books are $40. You know what I mean? So I think, actually here, let me open this up if I can. Can I do a request form? I can submit up to 5 suggestions per month? Fuck, wait. Shit. Okay, that's fine then. I will do that later. But I think I'm going to get Out of the Woods, Legends of Mineka, and potentially one of the other 2, either Death of the Author or Water Moon through the library. I really want Water Moon though. So maybe the Nia de Okorafor through the library. I will have to check and see if that's in my library's database. Let's find out. Probably not, but maybe. You never know. Oh, it is! Oh, iconic. Okay. So we're going to place a hold on this bad boy. Amazing. So we've placed a hold on Death of the Author. So we can take Death of the Author out of my cart then. February, we want Emily Wilde. So Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales, we're adding to the pre-order cart. One good thing about pre-ordering is you aren't charged until the book is shipped. So it's totally okay. We're also going to get Oathbound. Here it is. All right, again. Oathbound right here. Oh, isn't that just such a beautiful cover? Oh my God. The artist for these covers just pops off every time. Sango Mondana pre-order. I absolutely definitely want that one. Sunrise on the Reaping, I might get through the library or I might get in person. I don't really want to pre-order that one. I'm stuck on the fact the cover is super ugly. Not gonna lie. Anyways, April. Am I gonna pre-order any of these? Yes. Just the Ashfire King if it's available. Add to cart. So that's all I'm getting for April, even though I do have the Geographer's Map, and the other one is, hold on, A Song of Legends Lost. When is it actually coming out? If it's even here. This one is coming out in June. In June. Let me move that. June. I might get that one from my library, actually. Let me see if it's in of Legends Lost. No, okay, so that's one I'll have to request them buy, which is totally okay. And then we want, for surezies, Strength of the Few, which probably is not going to be in here because that's all the way out in May. Will of the Many, Will of the Many. Come on, there's got to be more. No? That's all you have for James Essington? All right. I don't have that one in stock yet, but I will be getting that one for sure. Preorder Bonds and Midnight Oil. Oh, it doesn't. Problems of pre-ordering this so early, I guess. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. That one I might buy in person, might pre-order, not entirely sure. I don't have anything else for June, but July, we're definitely going to do Red Tempest Brother. Thank you for having it in stock, or at least available to pre-order. Perfect. Incredible. Amazing. So excited. Oh, and the Enchanted Greenhouse from our girl, Sarah Beth Durst, because I can't not, you know, for August, Calabasas. And I think that's all I'm going to pre-order so far. And I'm going to get the deluxe limited edition, even though it's fucking expensive. Because you know what? You only live once. And I bet you it's going to be gorgeous. So, we haven't even gotten a cover reveal for Calabasas, have we? Hold on. Do you guys read that right? Look at this. Look at this. The trade paperback is $45? That feels wrong. That feels wrong. Because the hardcover is $39. So I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. What I have in my pre-order cart, which is great and amazing and super fun, we have The Baby Darken Cafe. We have Water Moon. We have Emily Wilde's Compendium, Oathbound, A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping, The Ash Fire King, Red Tempest Brother, The Enchanted Greenhouse, and Calabasas. We have 9 books for a subtotal of $340. So that means 2 in January, 1 in February, 2 in March, 1 in April, none in May until Strength of the Few comes out. Bury Our Bones as well in June. Red Tempest Brother and Enchanted Greenhouse, 2 of them in July, 1 in August, and then nothing else for the rest of the year. So that's actually a really good balance across, it's a really good spread for across the year, because I usually like to do at least, or like max 2 to 3 pre-orders per month. I think that's a pretty good pre-order list for this so far, my friends. But yeah, anything else that I'm super interested in, I will be getting through the library. Just because, you know what, so support your local library, do all that kind of stuff and that kind of thing. But I have 41 releases on this list. So if you see any more, if you find any more, please let me know in the comments what you are super excited for. And I will catch you guys in another video very, very, very soon. Stay kind and keep on reading.